Hello, Aquarius. Welcome to November 2018. Thank you guys so much for being here. So a couple of announcements. I do have the annual 2019 readings available on my website if you guys want to check those out. Comprehensives will be there too, just like normal. And, I've been doing this for almost 3 years. Next month is going to be my 3-year anniversary. So I'm changing things up a little bit. This Venus retrograde transit was not lost on me by any stretch of the imagination. It has had a huge impact on me and kind of the direction of my life. So I'm starting to incorporate a few more things on this channel. Hopefully I'll bring back the weekly bumps within the next month or two. And we're going to start picking up the pace a little bit. So thank you guys so much for being here for so long. For those of you who've been with me forever, I really am so grateful for it. And for those of you who have been with me forever, I am changing the format. So I'm going to be doing it like the weekly bump. I'm just going to be kind of showing my face and talking, holding up the cards. But the comprehensives will still be like you'll see all the cards just like it's always been. So just heads up and FYI on that. I am changing things up a little bit. So Aquarius, your energy has been so weird. I know a lot of Aquarians, and I haven't really connected with them. So I don't really know what's going on. And I started your reading once already. And I was so like all over the place. Like my brain was here and then up here and down here and over here. And it was just like what is going on, And then the first card I get with this reading is the Ace of Swords reversed. Like, okay, well, something is going on with the mind. I feel like your mind is talking you to death. That's how I feel, because when I started this earlier this morning, and when I was doing it this morning, I was like, I can't even formulate thoughts. I can't even get the words out. And normally when that happens, it's because I'm picking up on something and I'm just not making that connection. So I had to kind of like step away from the cards for a while and be like, okay, what's going on with Aquarius? And it's the words, right? Your mind is talking you to death. There's something that you're not quite aware of, or something you're not admitting to yourself. Now, you guys have a heavy hitting transit. We all do. Venus doing the retrograde thing right now. Jupiter is going to be coming into Sagittarius in June. We're going to June. See what I mean? Like my brain is all over the place in November. And then on the same day that Venus goes back direct in Libra, we have Mercury retrograde beginning in Sagittarius as well. So there's a lot of weird stuff going on intellectually. And I think because you are a fixed sign, you're feeling the effects there. I don't know what it is, but there's a lot of stuff. I'm going to stop talking now. We'll see how the rest of this reading goes. 5 of Wands. Is there drama in your life? There are people that just can't get on board with what you're doing. I want you to be aware that the external conflict that you may be experiencing is likely indicative of the internal conflict that you may or may not know, right? That you may or may not be acknowledging. The Venus retrograde stuff is super harsh, especially if you're like around my age. I'm 33 and you've got Pluto in the first degree, like the first 10 degrees of Scorpio or the last degrees of Libra. Like if you're in that generation that has Pluto in that particular spot, I mean, this is running so deep and the conflict is real and like there's no stopping it. Absolutely not. That's the essence of Pluto and Scorpio stuff, right? There's no stopping it. There's nothing you can do. And we are in the midst of it right now. Now it's October 17th when I'm filming this. And you're doing like a back and forth thing over this Pluto ruled part of the sky, and it's forcing you to look deep within yourself. It's forcing you. You don't have a choice. So please, any conflict that you are experiencing outside of yourself, the answer can only be found in here. You can't think yourself through this. I'm sorry, you can't. It has to come from a place of stillness, from a place of peace. Because I suspect that your mind is not your best friend right now, because it's going to be jabbing and chatting and talking to you and you're not going to be able to turn it off. unless you're practice, unless you know how to do that, unless you can be in a conscious meditative state all the time. And you're being forced to like look at the global perspective, your 10th house stuff, you know, you're being forced to look at your place in the world and where you fit in, and you know what this is all for. You know, it's all very existential. It's all big. Okay? It's about choices and balance. I wonder how balanced you are, or how balanced you're trying to be. If you feel like you know what your purpose is and you're not like obsessing over it, you need to consider your strategy. It's okay to be unbalanced. I know we always talk about getting balance, and we always talk about how important it is to have life, work, spiritual balance and all of that. But the fact of the matter is, if you want to get something done, you have to be kind of completely unbalanced for a while, and then you can make your way back to the center point in a little, you know, life is a counterbalancing act is really what it is. We're always counterbalancing. We're not just like always walking this straight line. It's always going this way and then pulling it back, and then going this way and pulling it back. And I feel like you're trying to keep all the balls in the air, but what really needs to happen is you just need to throw them all into one basket and just go for it. You know, just dive in, just do it. And if you're afraid of something, right, again, this is not working in your favor here. If you're afraid of something, if you're having fear and insecurities about what it is you're trying to do, you need to just get over it. That's all I can say, right? Because fear and insecurities are just up here, and that's it. They're not real, they're not substantive, they're not tangible, they're not actual obstacles. They're just you holding yourself back. And this kind of teeter-tottering act is just going to kind of keep you here even longer. It's going to keep you in this state of sort of disarray. You don't need to be here. There's no point. There's no reason for that at all. You have an opportunity here to figure out how to liberate yourself from the things that have been holding you back. And you have to get real honest with yourself. Lack of honesty here. Venus in Scorpio, whether she's retrograde or not, doesn't matter. Venus in Scorpio forces truth. Forces truth. Here you are, Queen of Swords reversed, turned upside down. Are you feeling indecisive? Are you feeling like analysis paralysis right here? Overthinking something, being afraid to pull the trigger. I feel so much tension doing this reading. I don't know why. I wasn't expecting that. But again, like when I was doing it this morning, I was like, man, something is up. Something very real is happening here for my Aquarian people. And it's life-changing. That's all I can say. But you can embrace it, and you can celebrate that, and you can be really, really grateful for it, because, oh my gosh, like whatever is going on, you know, the stronger, the more of a hold that you have on your values and your standards and the things that you believe and the things that you love about yourself and the value that hopefully you know the value that you bring into the world, the more you can hold on to those things, the easier it will be to let all the other stuff just kind of flit away and become more meaningless every passing day. The fears and doubts and insecurities, they have no meaning. And they're not doing you any favors, that's for sure. I'm getting butterflies in my stomach here. That rarely happens. It only happens when there's just a lot going on. It's heavy, I know. It's heavy. It's deep. I wonder what kind of weight you feel I wonder if you're not sure how to simplify your life. Strength reverse, there is an element of, really having a hard time separating yourself from the world. People on my channel, I know that I speak to a higher level, more spiritually evolved audience, okay? So you guys know what it means to observe yourself, to observe your world, and to observe your feelings and your thoughts as though they almost don't belong to the real you. That's what meditation can help you achieve. That is what consciousness is. Separating yourself from this kind of body and the functions of the body and not acting according to them. You can still feel them. You're still going to feel afraid. You're still going to feel tired. You're still going to feel burdened, right? But you can feel things and not let those feelings control you. You're going to need to work on that a little bit this month with the strength reverse, because you're going to need to tap into that higher self. But if your higher self is so engrossed in them, so this is how I describe it, right? Like if you're in a movie theater and you're so engrossed in the story and what's going on in front of you that you almost forget that you're even in a movie theater. Has that ever happened to you? That's kind of what's happening. You're getting so engrossed in the movie of your life that you're forgetting that you're really just watching a movie. You're just experiencing, your real self is back there somewhere. So be conscious of that. Meditate on that idea. If you need a good book to read, read The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. It literally changed my life. And that is going to be a game changer for you if you feel like you're really getting lost in this nonsense. Everyone hates to be at a Five of Wands. This isn't even it's just so, I always say it's petty and superficial is what I always say with my Five of Wands. It's just oh, am I really having to deal with this? Do I really have to have this conversation? Do I really have to look at this stuff right now? That's how I feel about the Five of Wands. It's more of an annoyance than it is anything else. An annoying disruption. And it's a reflection of inside. And I think that that's the chatty mind that's just gabbing away and trying to convince you of stupid stuff, when in reality you know that a lot of that stuff isn't true, or most of that stuff isn't true. All the inhibitions that you have, all of that's not true. And it's preventing you from finding love. It's preventing you from finding that joy and that fulfillment that you really truly deserve, because you do deserve it. Now, the good thing about these aces, even though they're reversed, they're still here. And I always say that when an ace is reversed, it simply signifies a delay. Please do not despair if you feel like you don't have this clarity or this fulfillment or whatever, right away. This is foreshadowing. That's what this is. It's foreshadowing. Future clarity, future fulfillment, joy, love, passion. There is a future aspect here. Getting in touch with your creative spirit is going to be very important for you right now. I'll clarify this one in the comprehensive. Of course, this one, also Five of Wands. I'll clarify all of those, because we need to know what's behind this. What else you need to know. And the Ace of Cups is a beautiful energy to get no matter what. Upside down or right side up, doesn't matter. It's important for you to have faith in the process. To surrender to what's going on. Pluto, Scorpio stuff. You don't have a choice. You have to just surrender to the lessons that are unfolding right before you. You have to let events happen to you. You have to start saying yes to certain things. Even if you're afraid of going out there and being creative, maybe get on board with the idea of going out there and doing the worst job you could possibly do, right? To go out there and just fail as hard as you can, just to get that kind of fear of failure out of the way, just so it stops stopping you, You don't have to succeed right out of the gate. Boom. Boom. Card of Aquarius. Amazing. Beautiful. So the star suggests the revolution. It suggests your place in the cosmos, your connection with the earth and the solar system and the galaxy and the universe as a whole. And I think that, I know that's really high level stuff, and in general the star is a lot about healing and optimism, and it is, but there's so much more to it than that. King of Cups is the Scorpio archetype, and he is very in control of his domain. You may be having a lot of emotions this month, but I suspect that you are handling them quite well. You're not repressing them, but you are managing them, and you are not succumbing to them. That is the energy that you'll need to kind of handle this strength reverse. If you are feeling weak in any kind of way because you've been bearing some kind of really heavy load, a lot of burdens on your shoulder, you need to be honest about, actually, let's just change gears here for a minute. You need to be honest with what your burdens actually are. Sometimes we just create stress from things simply because, I don't even have a reason, like simply just because. Like, let's say you are starting a new business and you're feeling all these overwhelming emotions of all, like, you're looking at the big picture and you're like, how am I supposed to get from point A to point Z, right? And you're trying to work out this whole process. Well, the fact of the matter is that as you're sitting there right now watching this tarot video, you're sitting in your living room, you're sitting on your bed, sitting in your office, looking at your phone, like, your exact moment right now is perfectly okay. If it wasn't okay, you wouldn't be watching this. So it's important for you to recognize the power of the moment. And if you're feeling stressed, like, well, what are you feeling stressed about? Clearly you're not, it's not really that important. Most of the time, the things that we give importance to are things that really have none. And I feel liberation here for you, freedom. The emotions that you feel, being manageable. That's beautiful. Six of Swords. See? Ace of Coins and the Emperor. The Emperor has been coming out a lot, actually. He's fierce, He's steadfast. He is a master. More so a master, I think, than this. I always say the Emperor is the consolidation of all four kings put together. So this is just the kind of one component, whereas this is all the components combined. That's just me. And he's strong, and he's wise. Look, he's old. He's been around the block a few times. He knows what's up. He understands the cycles. He understands the economy. He understands social whatever. He understands. And he knows that that Ace of Coins is right around the corner, just like the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Cups also right around the corner. Ace of Pentacles is likely going to be a breaking point for you, right? It's the opportunity that gets you to the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Cups upright. It's the pathway. And it's something material. It's a job. It's a raise. It's commission. It's something that's going to help you to take your life to the next level. But see, the Emperor knows how to leverage that Ace of Coins into something much, much greater. He understands the power of compound interest. And it's not just money. It's not just like the stock market stuff that we're talking about, right? We're talking about compound interest on your time, energy, and effort. If you do one thing every single day to get you to where your goals want you to go, you're going to be there before you know it. So don't take that Ace of Coins lightly. It's not to be frivolous here, especially in a time of such transformation. You cannot be frivolous with what is being given to you right now, because it absolutely is You are witnessing what's happening is you are witnessing the way that life unfolds. You are witnessing what happens when you let life take the reins. You are a soldier, you are a warrior, and you are absolutely more than capable of creating whatever it is you want. But sometimes what life can give us is so much bigger than what we can go out and take. So we get the Six of Swords. I know your heart is not at rest. But somehow your mind sees a way. In spite of all the chatter, there's still goodness there. This is very peaceful. This is spiritual evolution. This is ascension. This is what we talk about when we're ascending. We are leaving the rough, unruly waters behind, and we are making our way toward a more, or rather a less turbulent terrain. And that's where you're headed. And this is something to be quite excited about. I love a Six of Swords. This is amazing. So we do have some cards to clarify in the comprehensives for sure. Lots to talk about. So hopefully I will see you guys there on the website. If not, then I will see you guys next month. Thank you guys so much. Take care.